you're listening.
I just don't care.
Look, if you're 300 pounds, then you are a monster, and I don't want you to talk.
Welcome back to This Is a Work. My name is Kara Hayes, and I'm an associate producer for Long Walk Productions, here to introduce your host, David Two Doggz Hayes.
Thank you very much, Kara, and welcome to This Is a Work. We are being recorded live right here at Kayfabe Outpost 1 for Long Walk Podcast Studios. And with me, as always, my tag team partner, Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes. How are you, brother?
That was a long pause to get to my name. I'm a little worried now.
Well, I did it for effect.
Also, it's weird Dave got called up to another show.
I know. So, this time we are doing AEW's Full Gear.
As you might have known by the either the title or just the general upbeat sound in our voice.
Yeah, not a bad show. A lot of people were saying this was the best show that they've ever done. I don't know about all that.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was a fun show.
It was. You and me sat down. We watched it this past Saturday. Had a pretty good time. Let's get into it.
Sure.
So we start off the pre-show with Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa versus, oh my God,
Nyla Rose.
Thank you, Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter. I've liked Jamie Hayter for a very long time, and I'm glad she's back with us. And I haven't had a chance to really talk about her. And I wish I had something better to say. This particular tag match. I guess it was fine. Really, I thought Jamie Hayter was the only thing that was really good about this match.
I don't remember much of it. I'm not saying that to be mean. I think it was just, I can't recall it very well.
No, it's because you didn't miss much. There was no meat on the bone.
No.
That was it. There was nothing here for us. Thunder Rosa she's a decent worker. Shida, I think the hype on Shida is much bigger than her actual ability. I think Nyla Rose could be really good. I'm trying to be positive about it. But she is giving, you know what, she's selling way more than a monster like her should be selling.
That's true. That is true. I mean, it's something that was noticeable when she had her match with Shida last year.
Mm-hmm. And it was very noticeable during this tag match when, she's letting people do the do Hurricane Rana's tour. You can tell it's like she's giving up well over 120 pounds easily. Some may even argue 200 pounds. It wasn't very good. It's just, Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa go over, obviously, because, Nyla and Hayter, they're going to do the job right now. So until they improve or give us a decent storyline.
Oh, I do remember one thing. Did you remember Vicky's kendo poke of doom?
Oh, my God. Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, who did she do it on? Was it...
It was Hayter.
It was on... No, it wasn't on Hayter, was it? That was.
No, I'm sorry. I got it. It was on...
Thunder Rosa?
Wait.
I think it was on Thunder Rosa.
I thought it was on Shida. It might be on...
Might have been on Shida, but it was... The spot was, I think... Vicky was supposed to get her in the leg with a kendo stick, and it's just, well, she did, but she kind of just jabbed forward. And I know Vicky was trying to be careful, but it looks like for all intents and purposes,
she just poked her,
She
just
kinda-
tried to get her attention.
Kind of like poked her with a stick, and then she'd have felt it and sold it properly, but she didn't know what it looked like from the angle. It's also interesting. I think this is something neat that the faces in the match were foreign and the heels were American.
Yeah. One of them, Native American.
Native
so-
American. Yeah.
Actually, no. Jamie Hayter is actually British.
Oh. Well, fuck her.
And there you have it.
Yeah, but she's
That is Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes. You can write to us at Long Walk Podcast.
right to Doggz. Well then Commonwealth. But I was just curious to me. It was just like I like that we've hit a point where it's like it's okay to cheer the foreigners.
Yeah. So that's good. That's until you said fuck the British.
Well, I mean, most of the world has a day set aside for them to go fuck the British. A lot of countries' Independence Days are the days they said goodbye to the British.
That's true. That is very true. We're one of them. I gave this match 2, and honestly, I think I was being generous. Let's move into something happy, shall we?
A glorious mess, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get into a glorious mess here later. Let's start out the real show with Maxwell Jacob Freeman versus Darby Allin.
And start they fucking did.
My God, I haven't seen a wrestling match in well over 20 years, guys. And Jesus Christ, did they turn it up. And you know something? The second time that I watched it, I realized the placement for this match was perfect. Mm-hmm. Because if they had done this after the Bucks or made it semi-main, they would have put the crowd to sleep because they weren't. First of all, the crowd was going to be exhausted by then.
Right.
And they weren't going to feel it. I thought this match was perfectly placed, and Jesus Christ. MJF had been talking about how he could beat Darby with a headlock takeover. Well, he must have thrown 8 headlock takeovers in this match, which just pleases the hell out of me. Because I guarantee it. There were several people in the locker room that watched him do that and said, what was that move he just did? what was that? And is that a judo throw?
I know what they did copy because the ring apron moves they did were brutal.
Oh, my God. Talk about it.
I can't remember them specifically at this point, but it's just like
they would. That's one. It's an AEW trope. Now they always go to the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah.
And they just absolutely love to do stuff out there. At this point, MJF is selling a knee injury.
Yes, that's right. Early in the match, he actually like.
Is it raining?
I believe so.
Well, I'll be.
Yes.
I wonder if that's going to affect the podcast. We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, earlier in the match, he did something to hyperextend his knee.
Yeah.
Or hurt it.
And again,
A master class of selling
God
proceeded
bless
to happen.
him. Every move that he did, what the preface to it was, he did this sick backbreaker.
That's what it was. Yes, he put.
That's what really got him started. That's where they moved to the apron.
Yes.
And then he picks up Darby Allin, going for a tombstone.
That was it.
Yeah, and my God, dropped him. He drops to his knees, and he sold the hell out of it. And just he continued to sell it the entire match.
Every move, there was a grimace, there was a pull at the leg.
Oh, it was
Everything.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Darby, I can't say enough good things. I am getting higher on Darby Allin with every passing show. He just looks better and better. Everything he does, when he dives out of the ring, there's a point to it.
There is.
He's like a bullet train. He's just trying to get a knockdown so that he can capitalize on it, and it's beautiful.
The only thing close to a botch in this match was MJF making sure he got in position for Darby Allin's coffin drop to catch him.
There was that. It's getting a lot. I don't. We're gonna keep going. I don't know if we can. If you guys can hear this rain coming down.
I can, so I think so.
Okay, well, we apologize for the sound quality. We're working on it, guys. We're going to see if we can't remedy this.
God wants to stop this podcast, and we're not going to let him.
Nope. Because we are talking about MJF, and God clearly hates MJF because he is jealous because MJF will not give him his talent back.
Hang on, before you keep going, I need to scoot over. I don't want to get hit by the lightning too.
Nonsense. What's the worst that could happen? We're in a metal building. Anyway. This was just a master class of wrestling with updated moves.
And they fed off of each other perfectly. Even to the point where it's like what they wore. Darby Allin wore his usual, but MJF purposefully contrasted it by coming out, and it was just very much like a light purple set of trunks with, I think you noticed there were flowers on them.
There were flowers on them, and I believe I talked to a young lady earlier this week who referred to it as puce.
Yes, that is.
I didn't even know that was a word.
It is. Specifically a color, and it's in that spectrum of purple.
And just God bless him.
That's one thing you can always enjoy about MJF. He makes a point of doing something to contrast whoever he's facing.
There was one botch that I saw, and it wasn't really a botch. It was just ugly.
Yeah.
And it was right there at the beginning. Apparently, it's been a while since either one of these two cats have thrown an arm drag at each other. Boy, that was ugly. But you know what? We're going to see an even uglier arm drag later on in the show. We'll get to that. I love this match.
It was so good, and the end was great too because MJF.
Oh, please go ahead.
MJF. Well, he finished with that headlock takeover.
You're damn right he did.
But,
moving on.
But that would be after he used the brass. Oh, all right. That would be because he used the brass knucks hidden in his trunks to hit Darby Allin when the ref didn't see it.
Now, when did you see that?
It was when he. Well, I saw them earlier in the match because they poked up out of his trunks early.
Well, see, now I know I don't like what you're insinuating here, Martin. Now, I did see him with his diamond ring when he came down.
He didn't use that though.
Oh, are you sure about
that?
Well,
I mean, it was. Did he drop it in his trunks?
Who knows what happens to things when the bell rings? He may not have trusted the ring boy to take it back, and
there was no ring boy.
Well, there you go. Then maybe he would have had Wardlow hold on to it, or who knows? All I know is that he won with a headlock takeover.
Right after waffling him with brass knucks or something like that.
Never saw it.
You did.
And I gave this.
You cheered when it happened.
I did cheer for the headlock takeover. I very specifically remember doing that. MJF wins again. I gave this match a 5 Meltzer rating. It was just fantastic.
It really was. It was something that I would want to show somebody and be like, this is why I like wrestling.
No question. I would take somebody off the street and show them this match, and then they would say, I don't know who you are. Why did you bring me into your house? And well, that's like, look, it's MJF. Look, do you have a second to talk about our Lord and Savior?
I don't know what an MJF is.
Moving into our next match, we have the AEW Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Brothers, defending their belts against
the AAA Tag Team Champions.
I love those AAA belts, man. They look so good and so old school.
Yeah. The AAA Tag Team Champions of
FTR. Now, let's start this out proper. FTR comes out to the old Midnight Express music. Updated, obviously, but the Midnight Express music nonetheless.
It's legally distinct.
Yeah.
But it's definitely it. I immediately put it on YouTube. I was like, oh, that's it.
Oh, and man, you've never seen a bigger mark than you did at Kayfabe Outpost 1 that night. I went rummaging through my closet to find my Midnight Express shirt, and that I had when I was 6. I lost it. It was fantastic. The Lucha Brothers, they had a cute little intro with somebody where they threw a grenade or something, and
Don't do that.
a bunch of jobbers blew up. I don't know. I found it rather violent. But, I had originally given this tag team match a 5 as well. After watching it a second time, I've had to drop it down a little bit, and let's get into it. We start out fantastic. Mm-hmm. Again, simple. We start ourselves a nice little staircase of a story in the ring, and we just build it up and build it up and build it up, and it was good. And both teams just so fantastic. The Lucha Brothers, Penta and Phoenix, they just fly around the ring.
Do.
It's without flapping their wings or anything.
Including,
They're just,
I saw it after the fact. After you told me about it, I saw it on Twitter later. They had that perfect shot of Penta staring down FTR, and then Phoenix comes flying in from off screen to land beside him.
He just jumps in from the top of the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he was halfway across the ring when he did it. So, I mean, just incredible stuff, guys.
Like he slingshotted into shot just right beside Penta.
Just a beautiful, funny moment. Many good spots.
I think this is the match that also FTR and Tully were on the outside regrouping, and I think it was Penta who came off the ropes to do a move towards them, but he started by bouncing off the ropes they were standing beside, and it was absolutely great watching them just look up and flinch because they thought he was immediately coming out.
Right.
It's such a good moment.
There was so much happening. The problem that I had with this, and nobody's really talking about it, but I feel like the finish got botched somehow. I think what happened was Dax got hurt at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
Now, again, they're not talking about it, but if you watched it, then you saw them. They go to put the hoods on. They ducked under the ring so that they could put the masks on so that you couldn't tell who the legal man was. Dax was way gone. We never saw him again. And Cash was the one that ended up taking the pinfall, even though he was not the legal man to get pinned. It was a strange finish, and it didn't make sense. It felt like they just pulled it out of thin air, which is why I think Dax got hurt and couldn't do the finish, and so Cash leaned in and took it for the team.
But it's possible, and I mean, At the very least, it was just a good old-fashioned dusty finish.
At best. Even if it wasn't botched, it was an odd finish.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't go 5 on this. I did give it a solid 4.5, though.
That's fair. I get that, because the ending is kind of weird, and either it was necessitated by Dax being hurt, or just for them to meet again down the line, that they were just setting it up weird.
Yeah, and see, now I would have accepted it more if there had been some story behind these guys, but there's no story. They're just tag teams looking for belts. And AEW is notorious about there are no rematches. So you're not going to see this same match on Dynamite or Rampage.
Yeah.
Especially like WWE, and see it for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, there's no immediate rematches. Yeah.
Right. It'll be somewhere down the road. Maybe at the next pay-per-view, but doubtful.
Yeah.
So moving in, the Lucha Brothers, obviously, they go over 4.5 for this match.
The ending puts a little bit of a damper on things, but other than that, fantastic.
Oh, absolutely fantastic.
Good old-fashioned, just amazing tag team action.
And this is the one thing that I like to do. Because you have 2 great matches right there, I get to get nitpicky about things. I've run out of problems here, so I get to I get to get nitpicky about little things. Well, you didn't do this quite right. You didn't stick the landing on this, and I love it's not being critical. It's me being out of problems. So hats off to everybody thus far, except the pre-show. The pre-show sucked.
Oh, stop it.
Speaking of sucked, let's move into... no, I'm sorry. I was about to jump the gun here. Moving into the next match...
The guns weren't on this show.
No, you're right. Our next match, we have Bryan Danielson versus Miro, and this is the finals of the
World Title Tournament, yeah.
The World Title Tournament. The winner...
The contender, tournament.
Yeah. The winner gets a world title shot in a future date, and they never really say what the future date is, and sometimes it happens on Dynamite, sometimes it happens on Rampage, and sometimes we go all the way to a pay-per-view, like what happened tonight with Omega and Page. So Danielson versus Miro, again, fantastic. Miro has never looked better.
He really has.
I love this this I am a servant of God gimmick that.
Well, now he's God's forsaken champion.
Because
he lost, and now God has given up on him.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love this gimmick. He has got this fire about him.
Bitter ex. He really is.
It's just God is saying, well, it's not you, it's me. It's that's what it was. That I was searching for that. You said that night. Yeah, that God changed his status to it's complicated on Facebook. Bryan has never
Bryan
looked.
Danielson.
Oh my God, I have. That's going to happen again.
It's ingrained because of how long he was there.
And the man's got 2 first names. I mean, what are you going to do? It's you've already made it hard on us. So Danielson he's looked fantastic ever since he's gotten there. Although if you watched Dynamite the last night, Danielson may be going heel.
Well, he might be just drifting back more to his character before WWE, which was less happy-go-lucky and more, I just want to commit violence on as many people as possible.
He kind of went after the fans a little bit. Yeah. It was, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it. Go ahead and watch it. It's still good. It's still Danielson, and he's still awesome. But yeah, he may be going heel a little bit. But
Interesting.
Miro, he's he's got these eyes of when he gets angry, you can see just this rage that's building up in him, and it's terrifying.
Every match just seems to point out more and more how WWE dropped the ball with him.
And they could have done this match in WWE, and it would have been just as good, nay, maybe better.
Well, they did do it apparently just once though.
Yeah, just the one time and never again. Why? I don't know, because they do all the matches we don't want to see 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times. But, what do I know?
So at one point, Bald Bull gets super mad, and he tells Little Mac to kick him in the side as many times as possible.
That it really is. That we were talking about that night.
Oh, 100%.
It is absolutely Little Mac versus the Bald Bull from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Any Gen Xers out there that you know what I'm talking about. I just kept saying, I was like, if he does that bull charge and does the 3 hops and Danielson punches him in the stomach and his eyes get real big and he does that fade and have Mario come in there and start the count, I would have loved it. But I so many good things in this match. It's a definite worth the watch. I gave this match 4 Meltzers, and fantastic. First 3 matches into the show, and we are off and running, guys.
Yep, and now Bryanson is the number 1 contender.
Yes, he is. So we've got a title match. That's who it was. He was talking to Paige.
Oh,
yeah, that's who it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so can't wait to see that. So, speaking of things that I can wait to see, we're going to move into our next match, and we now have the Young Bucks.
It's time. All right.
And Adam Cole, baby, versus Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. I could have done without. Hey, guys, look, I love Adam Cole. I think he's phenomenal. Christian Cage is worthy of respect. And look, does anybody let's just put it on the table. Does anybody really care that Christian is in AEW? Does anybody really honestly care?
You are going to get text messages from Robert Bradford.
I don't think Robert Bradford cares either. I think he's just too nice for his own good.
Uh-huh.
I think he's going to say, well, I'm very happy that Christian is back, and it's great, and I have all the respect in the world for. He's a fantastic tag team specialist, and all of that is correct.
I need to know what the time code is on that, because I'm going to just text that number to Robert when he goes to listen to it.
All I'm saying, first of all, I love Robert to death, but I'm going to make fun of you a little bit.
I mean, well, I like that he's there. I mean, I like
Robert or Christian?
I like both of them, actually.
One of them you don't like as much. Which one?
Well, probably.
Say it. Spit it out of your mouth. Say it.
This has gotten weird. What happened here? Look.
I rarely get to back somebody into a corner.
Because you're not. Yeah, you're right. Like, Christian Cage isn't going to be the reason I tune into AEW.
You're right. And I agree.
But I like him, and I'm glad he's there.
But if he weren't there, would it hinder you from watching?
Currently, no.
There we go. That's all. So, Chris Bard said he hates Christian Cage.
That is the opposite of what I said.
No. We got it. We got it right here on tape. Now, look, I love Adam Cole. Let's get into this.
Sure.
But I got a bone to pick with old Bebe. I understand that you want to have a hardcore street fight.
Oh my God. So,
And-
have you heard anything else about this?
No, I haven't.
'Cause
I
am just
haven't.
insanely curious to know what exactly happened with this.
Nobody's talking about it, and I think they're just giving Adam Cole a pass because it's Adam Cole. I get it, and but I can't give you a pass on this.
Okay, so so what happened is during the middle of this this mess that was the street fight.
I think he got hit with a chair, and he rolls out of the ring.
Right, and so he takes the opportunity to get color as as any wrestler would, but when he pops back up and you see him bleeding,
Huge quotation fingers, bleeding.
it's we notice immediately it's kind of weird because it's just a swath across his forehead,
Mm-hmm.
and it's staying there.
And it's not moving.
It's not moving
as blood usually does.
Yeah, there's nothing about it moving. It's kind of secured, and it's like I don't know if it was Daniel Bryan Miro or a match after that. We saw someone get busted open
Oh, they got busted open in this match.
in this match. Oh yes, it was this match. Someone else was busted open, and you saw them bleeding. As in, it was started on their forehead. It ran down. You saw the movement of the blood. It was very much. How did we describe it? Oh yeah, it was. It looked like someone just like had a Rafiki moment and went Simba and smeared across his forehead.
Circle of life. No.
To the point where, toward the end of the match, when he pops up again, it's gone. They
Completely
wiped it off.
gone.
They wiped it off. And you can argue, oh hey, he was bleeding, and someone, an official wiped him off. Fine, whatever.
They didn't do that in any of the other matches, and there were a few matches where
No.
people were bleeding.
No, I would argue that it was fake. They realized it was looking bad, and it's not working, and they took it off.
Look, guys, Adam, if I may address you, sir, I like you. You're a good kid. If you don't want to bleed in the match, fine. Don't bleed. But don't use, to anybody that's wrestling, don't use fake blood unless the gimmick it actually is fake blood. That's the only time I'll accept it, when you're doing a first blood match and the heel's gonna hit somebody with a blood capsule and the guy's not really bleeding and he's like, hey, this
But he's
isn't
out and he smeared him, and it's like, hey, he's bleeding. He's bleeding.
Yeah, and then the ref rings the bell and he's like, hey, what the hockey sticks and what the thing and that's the only time that's acceptable.
I'm not going to lay this solely at Adam's feet, but I feel like there was some sort of idea to to avoid actually cutting, and it just didn't work. If that is what happened, I don't know. I'm still not sure.
I am sure, and I look, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I expect more from Adam Cole, baby. And I'm sorry to say, you brought your rating down because of it. You know what? I'm doing this to help you, not to hurt you.
Can I say something? I actually forgot Adam Cole's name yesterday because everyone is so accustomed to saying Adam Cole Bebe as the entire pronunciation of it, that when I went to say Adam Cole, my brain shorted because it was like, that didn't sound right. I don't think that's the right name.
Fantastic.
Because I didn't say Bebe after it.
Well, for the longest time when Mr. Kennedy was in the WWE, I always referred to him as Mr. Kennedy. and then when he went to Impact, I called him Mr. Anderson. So, it happens.
That is your fault, and that is Shelby's fault in particular.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll take that one. You know what? this match was a damn mess, is what it was.
As is customary as it can be with the Young Bucks always wanting to work, put in as many. Again, what I complain about is the Young Bucks. It just seems like when they're planning a match of any sort, it's just a series of, hey, it would be cool, and then they do it.
Yeah.
And then they take all the ideas and they don't throw any out. They just do them all.
Right.
And then to be in a 6-man street fight that just exacerbates the problem to the nth degree.
Right. I wasn't happy with it.
It's not to say there wasn't fun stuff or good stuff in there.
Sure, absolutely.
But overall, it was I'm going to keep calling it a mess because it was.
It was. I wouldn't refer to it as a match. It's because it was a damn mess. Now it's not the biggest mess of the night. We'll get into that. Now, the last time that we had a Young Bucks mess was inside a steel cage with the Lucha Brothers. Now that was a mess too, but man, that was it was a chaotic, beautiful mess. They tried to do the same thing here, and the crowd was into it. They liked that sort of thing because you got new wrestling fans and they don't really know what they're looking at, and that's fine. And look, that's what wrestling is, and I'm fine with it. I'm not trying to be Jim Cornette here. I'm really not.
Some matches are just going to be, what the hell's happening? Well, that's kind of cool, and then it's over.
But just, from my point of view, I'm going to give you points for crowd reaction. I'm going to give you points for, some fun moments. The go home on this was I'm getting it mixed up with the America's Top Team thing.
Oh yeah.
I started to say, I was like, this happened to.
Well, Jungle Boy. Well, earlier on, this wasn't the official go home, but they did the super kick party spot, but they did it with also putting tacks in Jungle Boy's mouth and then kicking him in the face.
God, yeah, I forgot. That was a cringe moment. That was great, though.
They also had the thumbtack knee pads that they rammed into.
Right.
I forget who they rammed them into. Was it Luchasaurus?
It was Luchasaurus, yeah.
Because I commented on the fact that they did that to the guy who has the most coverage and you can't see bleed.
And Luchasaurus, that's something else. He looked bad that night. He was not on his A game. I don't know if he was sick or if he was tired or jet lag or something, but he didn't come to play. He had a couple of decent spots, but he looked clumsy. He
looks his best when things are contained in the ring.
Yeah.
I think things were just way too chaotic for his style to work well.
No, I'll agree with that. So was it the Bucks?
I don't know I think it was all three of them who rammed the Luchasaurus with the knee pads.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But I don't. Luchasaurus took out the Bucks and a couple and some security in them because he did that flip off the ramp.
That's right. And
just waylaid everybody.
Yeah. And then Cage and Jurassic Express, they get, was it the submission?
No.
It was the pinfall.
It was the pinfall because Christian set up the concerto on Adam Cole and then gave
there
it to
you
Jungle
go.
Boy to do.
That's what it was. Right there at the top of the ramp. Like I said, what are you going to do? I gave this match, I feel like I'm being generous, but I gave it 2.5.
Okay.
So we're going to leave it at that. And I know I told you that I dropped it down a little the other night, but it's thinking about it today, I raised it back up.
You're getting soft in your old age.
I am. Moving into another, I don't want to, it was not as big a mess, but another tag team match. We have Cody Rhodes and Pac, an unlikely tag team that, wait for it, doesn't get along, versus Malachi Black and Andrade. I can't say his last name.
El Idolo. El Idolo.
El Idolo.
Yeah, because it's the idol. Andrade the Idol.
Oh,
El Idolo.
I'm just going to call him Andrade the Idol then.
Okay.
So,
Andridol.
yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. And guess what? Well, those two don't get along either. They took a page from WWE on this one.
Yeah, but they did it right. Because, incredibly enough, neither of the teams were teamed up because they were currently feuding for a singles title.
Right.
Also, they teamed up to face common enemies, but they also made it clear that there's tension.
Mm-hmm.
And they communicated this because they weren't really cohesive. They were instead of as a standard, because you'll see in most of AEW's tag matches, a standard tag is actually a cooperative one.
Yeah.
They actually used the back tags and the opportunistic tags whenever they wanted to.
Yeah.
Because they weren't interested in being a team past this point.
Now, I'll give them credit for that because this is the only time that I really want to accept this.
Right.
Is when people aren't getting along. My problem is this, guys. When you can't have two teams that are arguing unless this builds up to something. And these guys, they weren't even a.
Well,
this was Survivor Series. That's what this was.
I guess. Well, I thought part of the thing was, at least from what I heard in the build-up, was that supposedly Andrade and Malachi were friendly toward each other, or
sort of.
They at least seemed more friendly to each other than Pac and Cody.
Yeah.
But over the course of the match, then things kind of started tearing apart because they weren't winning as handily as they wanted to.
Cody, on the other hand, getting so booed by the crowd.
I'm really tired of that, honestly, because
Let's break this down. What do you think started that? Why is that happening?
The problem is the fans as a whole are just kind of tired of Cody a little bit.
Yeah. But why? Because we don't see him every week.
I don't know. They've just perceived him as being, all the criticisms of Triple H that have dogged him in terms of playing politics and keeping people down.
Sure.
They've decided that Cody's doing that in AEW for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And they're tired of him. They just don't. The only thing I'm on their side of is he should really ditch that red, white, and blue jacket. I don't think it's good.
Yeah, and have the tattoo removed. Just Jesus.
But in terms of like character, he's basically stated he doesn't really want to turn heel. Mm-hmm. For his own personal reasons, and he's trying. And as far as I can tell, he's trying to not make. He will he will when he's doing his stuff be, very.
Maybe this is what it is. Maybe you stumbled onto something. You use the word trying.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the problem. He is trying too hard. He comes out, he cuts
that's it. That's what I'm trying to get
Fight
to.
the Good Fight promo, and he got the blonde hair and got the nice suits, and he's like, "Hey, look, yes, I am a millionaire, I'm a billionaire, and I run the company, but you know what? I'm also one of you. I'm a wrestling fan." And he's got the red, white, and blue patriotic Americana robe, and he's got the legendary Arn Anderson by his side as his coach, and then he's got all his friends and his wife and the damn dog. What's the dog's name? Miro.
It's Pharaoh.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right. Miro just wrestled.
I think it's that, and it's just. I think if he just reined it in a bit, it wouldn't be as bad. But he seems to be very happy in the area he's in terms of the card. He He's trying. Like, people want to think he's burying people, but I've seen him work very hard to try and elevate the people he's working against.
Yeah.
The crowd has just decided, for a lot of reasons, they just decided they don't like Cody anymore.
Well, I think it's several things.
And they're trying to boo him into a change he doesn't want to make.
Right. And I think it's several things. And we talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
The main one was when he comes out and he cuts the promo and blah, blah, blah. And then Jake comes out. That's where this thing really started, I believe. He has Jake the Snake Roberts come out and cut a promo on him, and he really underestimated how much of a force Jake Roberts is on the mic. And that was nail in the coffin number one. The second one was that damn tattoo that we likened to the mole from Austin Powers, where we just can't stop staring at it. It's nice to tattoo you. Meet you. Nice to see your tattoo. Don't say tattoo. I said tattoo. Tattoo. Anyway, so that happened, and then we had the Murder Hawk Lance Archer come in, who was supposed to be this unstoppable force. And Cody all but buried him. It's not, and not on purpose. You just didn't book it right. That's just what happened. And I think when you take all those three, and then plus now people are just mad.
I guess, and I get that mistakes were made, but at the same time, he doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, it's harsh. It's harsh, but that's wrestling.
because now they're ruining the show, in my opinion, because they're trying to override what's going on and make their opinion. That's the wrong way of phrasing it. To make their voice the most important thing in the room that's happening at the moment.
Right.
And it is important.
It is.
But at the same time, not giving the benefit of just letting the match play out and letting it go, and instead just booing Cody, which just gives the impression that if you go to those clips, you just get the impression, wow, they hate this match. Not just Cody, they hate this match.
Yeah.
And it's not fair.
It's not, and
it's like,
it's an injustice to Pac and Black and Andrade.
And it's like when the crowds decide to make themselves the most important character in other matches. Like
it happens.
Like the Iron Man match between Seth Rollins and someone. It was a couple years ago at this point, but Seth Rollins and I forget who. But the crowd decided they didn't enjoy the match anymore, so they started counting down.
Yeah.
To the point where they took the clock off. So they just started guessing at what time it was.
Right.
And they just started counting down whenever they wanted and shitting on a match that was happening.
Yeah. And but you know what? I'm gonna counter that. Just thought of this.
Yeah.
That is letting the point of being a wrestler is you control the crowd. Don't let the crowd control you.
Right.
And that's letting the crowd get away from. So if you look at it in that, then all of this is happening is Cody's fault. And like I said,
I think he played it right. He no-sold it.
Yeah.
And he just the match.
Well, here's the thing. Did he? Because towards that go home. He was out there, tending to an injury.
Right.
He had the medics come up, and we found out later that he was working.
Right.
He had the medical doctor come up and was talking to him. The crowd is giving him shit, and he starts yelling back at the crowd. Meanwhile, Pac is handling business in the ring without a partner there. And this may be just a long-term swerve that we're getting ready to see.
We'll see. But my prime example of he doesn't deserve this as he goes to they booed him while he was giving his weight belt to the fan in the audience.
They did.
The special needs fan who he saw, and he was like, I want to like Bret Hart giving a kid the what if people booed Bret Hart while he was giving a kid glasses?
Well, I did.
I know you did, but you don't count. Shut up.
How dare you?
But anything like that, like when Rey Mysterio was giving his mask to people in the audience.
Right.
What if people were booing him during that for some reason? What the fuck is the point of that? Shut the fuck up. Like, guess what? The fan's voice is very important, but sometimes the fans are shitty.
That is true. And with that, we will move on past this match. Cody goes over along with Pac.
Well, Pac wins. Pac is the one who seals the victory. He gets the pin.
Yeah. Pac wins,
and then,
not Cody.
And then, Cody.
Not Cody.
Right. And I think that's the point, actually, because Cody comes up to, at least congratulate him, and Pac he's out.
Yeah.
He's done. We won. The match is over. I don't have to talk to you anymore. Bye.
Right. I gave this match 2.5. There were parts that were fun, but that was really our main point of topic was just Cody being Cody and why nobody liked it.
Well, I think the problem going forward is even when he's trying his best to make sure that other people are shining, that he's putting other people over, it's gonna be more difficult now because people are determined to boo him and shit on what's happening.
That's true, because now it's habit.
Yeah.
So, moving on to our next match. I don't have anything good to say about this. It's Tay Conte versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
You kind of missed the mic on a couple of those.
Well, on purpose. Tay Conte missed a lot of kicks. So
I had my standard complaint for this that I have for a lot of women's matches, AEW and WWE, which is they're going too slow.
Way too slow.
That match would have been a little more enjoyable if they were going at full speed.
Tay Conte, yes. Let's do the compliment insult sandwich.
Whoops! I started early.
That's okay. Tay Conte is getting better.
She is.
With every passing match. She is very slow. Her kicks look great. Mm-hmm. When she lands them.
Yeah.
Her punches, her forearms, her chops, on the other hand, just dog shit. Just absolute dog shit.
Are you saying she's a menace above the waist?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Now, look, I get it. Everybody really likes her, and
but Doggz, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Judo, Judo.
And I am sure if Tay Conte and myself got on the mat, she would tear me apart.
Probably both of us at the same time.
But you get in a wrestling ring, this is just a completely different animal. And she's not there, guys. She's just not there. And I know AEW, they want her to be there. She has had more wins than she should be allowed to have of this year. I mean,
like a Brazilian.
I think it's something like 17. But oh my God,
she's had a lot of wins, like a Brazilian.
Yeah. How much is a Brazilian?
It varies from person to person.
Could it be is it more than a quadrillion?
No.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Oh.
That was lame.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Write it down. Dave will want to cut that. That's nothing on you, Doggz. I know he'll cut that.
Nope, I didn't.
Yeah, I know he will. I thought it was funny. Anyway, this match was garbage.
See what happens when we yes and? That just
Baker, she did what she could.
yeah.
But she had her faults in this too. She ends up going over, and rightly so, because we can't put that belt on Tay Conte, at least right now. Maybe later down the road, if she will improve and the roster will improve, something like that. But I gave this match 1.5. It's garbage. I don't want to even talk about it anymore. Because this was a good pay-per-view, and that stunk it up.
It's killing my vibe. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's harshing my mellow, man. Let's move on to something happy. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. This wasn't even a wrestling match. This was a fight.
It was, and it was the shortest match on the show, and it was the most brutal.
We started out with, before the bell rings.
Eddie does it like a discus punch or what?
No, it was a spinning
back fist.
It was more like an open hand back fist, but everybody called it a spinning back fist.
Well, yeah,
we'll give it
you
to
can
you.
See, it wasn't like a really full closed fist, but he spinning back fist Punk cheap shots him in the back of the head
and crumbles
he
Punk.
Goes down, yeah. Like,
then the bell rings.
Yeah.
And he just started to just waylay on him, and it was fantastic. Punk ends up, getting his shit back together.
Yeah.
And he comes back. There was just some beautiful, beautiful moments because, again, with the finishers here, it's like he actually hit the go to sleep on him. I think 3 times?
At least 2.
I know that he did 1 outside.
Yes.
But you can't beat him outside. So you had to throw him back in. Punk even got color. It was real blood. And, Adam.
Eddie teased he was going to use the GTS on Punk.
Yeah, he did tease it. He couldn't quite get it.
No.
Punk tries a second time, but he nailed it so close to the ropes that Eddie was able to get his hands on the ropes. Again, protecting the finish. That's how you do this, guys.
Yeah, he didn't kick out. He was just at an opportune place in the ring.
Yeah. And finally, he goes for the third one. Well, now we're center ring, and you get the pin.
Yep.
Beautiful fight. This was not a wrestling match. This was a fight, and it was fantastic. Nobody was going to give anyone an inch in this.
Yeah, and just the storytelling. Eddie Kingston's just desperation is like, I have to beat you.
Yeah.
I have to beat you down and prove that I'm better.
And this is the beautiful thing about it. There was a lot of people that were talking about it before it happened, saying, "Oh, these two really don't like each other in real life." That's even better because it absolutely was a work, and you absolutely got him. That's perfect, guys, because Eddie is so believable and so damn good on the mic. They were even booing Punk.
Yes, they were. And I will say that AEW went the extra mile because when I told you didn't, I'm sure you saw it on the replay, but when they were doing the promo package for this, they actually went and got permission or paid what they had to use actual footage of them from IWA Mid-South.
Oh
like
yeah,
they got special footage just to highlight to highlight their work, to show how this feud is spanned over time. And I love the end where Punk, waits for Eddie to get brought back up, and he lets it, to come to, and he tries to be the bigger man and hold out his hand for like a handshake of respect.
And Eddie wants nothing to do with it.
Stares at it. He stares at him and just stalks out of the ring.
Sadly, Kingston got hurt during that match.
Oh.
Yeah, he had to miss a couple of appearances because of that. So that's unfortunate. Godspeed to Eddie Kingston.
I'm not surprised though. He went so hard in that match.
Yeah, he gives it all. I wish, if I have to be critical about Eddie Kingston, I need him to get in shape. And I've said this before. Eddie Kingston looks like me. He's got a gut that just won't quit going, and he just. I wish he would hit the gym a little bit harder and try to lose that gut, and because I think if he lost that gut, man, there's nothing stopping him from capturing the world title, at least the TNT title, at bare minimum.
No, I mean, ultimately, that's up to him. I mean, because maybe he could stand to lose a little bit, but other than that, I just find that more impressive.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he's a terrifying individual. That's the thing about it. And I love this match. I gave it a 4.
He brings up that neighbor in the cul-de-sac energy to the ring.
Oh, you better believe he does. He's the guy who's like, yeah, you don't want to. Don't turn the music up too loud because Eddie doesn't like it. So let's keep it at a tolerable level tonight, guys.
Wait, you're saying the ball rolled into his yard? We're getting a new ball.
Yeah.
Leave it. Do not try and get it.
Yeah, he's the new beast from the Sandlot. That's what it is. Moving into our next match, and
I think a problem in this, because of how they set things up, was like there may have been too. Far be it from me to stifle them, but there may have been too many tag matches of many sorts.
Yeah,
I understand it was the only way to fit a bunch of these things into the card, but
this honestly, look, I like the feud between the Inner Circle and Men of the Year. We didn't need America's Top Team in there. That had no. Those guys had no business being around there, and I know we want star power. Look, you got Bryan Danielson, you got Adam Cole. You're gonna have Jay Lethal later. What else do you want, man? That's your star power. You don't need this. There was no point to it, and this was a bigger mess than the Young Bucks match. I was more scared for the Inner Circle just because of Junior Dos Santos.
I was about to say, we spent the whole match keeping an eye on him.
He scared the shit out of me. And you knew he didn't know what he was doing when he started throwing punches at Jericho, and you're like, oh my God, somebody's gonna stiff him a little too hard. He's gonna get mad, and he's gonna break somebody's back. Jesus Christ. And it was evident that he didn't know what he was doing, because later on in the match, Jericho gets, oh my God, his name just fell out of my head. American Top Team's manager.
Lambert, is it?
Lambert, thank you.
I don't remember his first name, but I think his last name's Lambert.
Dan. Well, he gets him in the ring. He grabs a staple gun and staples his nuts, which, he falls down. He sells that. Eddie, good Lord. Jericho goes to do the lion salt, and as he jumps on to the second rope. Now, here's the thing. When you watch this a second time, you pick this up. As he starts running towards the ropes, he started screaming, Junior! He got all the way over to the ropes and paused for like a good 2 Mississippi, because Junior Dos Santos was not in position and not ready for the spot. And Junior ends up hitting him so that he could fall back.
Uh-huh.
And I would like to say, well, that's the only mistake of the match. Oh no, there was a lot. It was too much to go into. The good things that I can say, Sammy Guevara is a beast.
Yeah,
he's gained about 10 pounds of muscle, and he looks incredible. And he had a couple of fun spots with the ladder that just kind of appeared.
Yes.
Never actually saw that ladder until it was there.
I'm pretty sure they drug it out from under the ring, but yeah, it was just I saw a ladder at some point. It's just like, where'd that come from? if the street fight was a mess, I barely don't know if I can call this a match.
Oh no. It was just too much. It was way too much, and it was unnecessary. And honestly, if you had to do this, I would have put this on the buy-in. I know Jericho's your star power and whatnot, but this was it wasn't good, guys. It was not for the talent that we had there. Why not just keep Scorpio Sky and Paige in there? Why not just those two? That was fine, and have it be Guevara and Eddie or whatever. That would have been fine. But no, we had to get American Top Team in. Very unimpressive. I'm sorry, guys. I can't be nice about it. I gave it a 2.
And Inner Circle won, didn't they?
Yeah, but who cares? And honestly, look, you didn't do any favors for Scorpio or Ethan.
No.
Not
especially.
Yeah, they lost. Nobody looked good in this match. Nobody got put over in this match. Everybody's buried. It's American Top Team is buried. I mean, so I mean, why?
Well, okay. I mean, to say nothing else, it's over now.
Yeah, it's over, and we don't have to talk about it anymore. Let's move on. So now we have a big announcement, and that is the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Lethal is All Elite. I could not have been more excited. I didn't know this was coming. Usually I have an idea.
No clue, yeah.
I had no idea this was going to happen. So he comes out, he says he's All Elite, and he challenges Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. And they get in. Now, again, this is face on face, but whatever. It's going to be an amazing match. I think they had it Wednesday. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, so I'm looking forward to checking it out.
I like that, and I'm glad there's more of that in AEW, where it's just like you can have face versus face, and it's just as long as you keep it framed as, hey, spirit of competition, it comes out great.
Yeah. So now we move into our main event of the evening, and that, my friends, is Hangman Adam Page challenging for the AEW title, Kenny Omega.
Omega's the title?
Omega is an actual title. Yeah, it's just, I mean, look at his face. There's a lot of bumps on it. It looks like Flair's belt.
A match that's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has been. Since the AEW started, we just had a lot of trouble getting to this moment, but we're finally here. It was a damn fine match.
It delivered on what it promised.
If you want to go watch this, I definitely recommend that you check this out. It's a feel-good moment.
It is 100% the emotional heart of the show.
Yeah.
And well-deserved.
As at the end of the match, well, Paige goes over with the buckshot lariat.
Yep.
And the Dark Order comes running out, who have befriended him, but he hasn't really responded in kind. Not so much.
Thus far, he has accepted that they want to be his friend.
Yeah, and that's about it. But yeah,
they come out and they keep their distance, and they offer him up a beer to celebrate.
And then he invites them down.
He chucks the beer. And he goes in for the hug. Yeah.
And that was a great whole thing with it. He was like, yeah, I started drinking, I've quit drinking now, and blah, 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 blah. And it was just, it was a great feel-good moment. That's how you want to go home. That's how you want to send 100%. These guys home. Good stuff. And we now have a new AEW champion in Adam Page. God, I hope that he is everything that we need him to be in a superstar, because I would love to see him be that shining beacon, that Hogan, that Rock, that Austin, that A-lister that we need so bad to push us forward. Well, what do you think? What do you think?
I think he'll get there. I don't know if he'll be that right out of the gate, but he
No.
is absolutely going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, good-looking kid, young, can wrestle.
An incredible sense of humor.
Yeah, yes, he does.
I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll have to show it to you. He put out a quote-unquote press release after the show, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever read.
I have not seen it. No,
I'll show it to
you'll
you.
have to show that to me. Well, that takes care of us for AEW. Let me ask you, Barnes, who is your best dressed of the evening?
That's honestly a hard pick because there were a lot of good choices.
Yeah.
Let's see. Running back through everything, I really like MJF's choice. Like I said, it was such a good choice to contrast Darby Allin with, and FDR's throwback design on their tights.
You know, see, I would have put FTR, as much as I love them,
Right.
I would have put them down as my worst dressed. I did not
loved
like
it.
the robes.
Well, the robes I could give or take, but the tights themselves I'm talking about.
Oh, the tights were
The tights
fantastic.
with
Yeah.
the font they chose are incredible, and it's honestly I don't know if it's fair for me to pick because it's like the Lucha Brothers always look great when they come out. It's like it's hard to pinpoint. I would say MJF slightly edges it out because again he constantly does put in the work to make a point about the choices. He's very Ric Flair about his choices in terms of how he decides to contrast his opponents.
Yes, he is. Now, my best dress.
Sure.
I thought, and I'm going to shock you here.
Sure.
My best dress was Tay Conte.
Okay. Yeah. No, I see.
With the Brazilian thing, the
Yeah.
flag and the face paint across.
It was a good
I thought
job.
that was great.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Now, what about your worst dressed?
I don't really have one.
No.
No, I think everyone fit the bill.
Okay.
Well, okay. I would put Adam Cole in the camp of best dressed because he went
Worst dressed.
best.
Oh, best. Oh,
Best.
okay.
Because him and the Young Bucks decided to go with. I don't know if it was it seems like it was explicitly like a tribute,
It did
like
seem
a Bret Hart Foundation tribute.
It did seem that way.
And while the Young Bucks, I would put Young Bucks in worst dressed because they coordinated with black and pink, but it was just kind of, it wasn't anything special. Adam Cole, you can tell very specifically had this made, designed in mind for this.
Yeah, I mean, it was a feel-alike Bret Hart leather jacket. That's exactly what that was.
And his outfit is like it all matched up.
Like, it didn't look like Bret Hart's jacket, but when you're looking at him, you think Bret Hart.
Yeah. But the Young Bucks' contribution was more disorganized, and I didn't really think it worked.
As per usual.
But yeah, I'm putting them in worst dressed. I typically will because I know they're doing it on purpose, but their choices of attires are absolutely
Repugnant.
And when they came out later at the main event, I think it was Matt Jackson was wearing the quilt ensemble.
Yes.
It would look like someone's patchwork quilt he had turned into like a vest, hoodie, and pants. Is like,
Yeah.
I don't dig it. It's like it's hard to say it's too bad for wrestling. I couldn't possibly. I'm not gonna say that because it's not true. You can go a lot worse, but it's not great. I'm not a fan.
Now, we usually ask Hensley this question, but I'm going to have to pose it to you because Kara hasn't seen it, and you have. So, if you could give us your best moment of the night, or best performance of the evening.
I know, yeah.
This is a hard one
It
because
is.
there was a lot. I mean, there was a lot of bad, but there was a ton of good.
I mean, the most satisfying thing of the night was the end of Page Omega, but I think I'll make it a tie and make it MJF and Darby Allin.
I couldn't agree more. God, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was so perfect. Could not agree more. Well, you know what? I think that's going to wrap us up for the evening. So, and we are not slowing down. I understand that Long Walk Podcast just finished up their podcast. What was the podcast?
Oh, we did Interstellar.
Interstellar, that's what it was.
That actually should already be up by the time you hear this.
Yeah, right on. And we're not slowing down at all because we have Survivor Series coming up next week. So just stay tuned because I'm sure that's going to be just a road of trash.
Oh, is Survivor Series happening?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know everybody else forgot too.
Up to and including WWE.
Yeah.
It really feels...
I can't wait, and I've told you this before, I can't wait until they just get rid of the Survivor Series matches and stuff and just give us the Elimination Chamber.
It's like I told you, they seem determined to not do it right anymore, so why not?
Yeah, I know. Well, Carol, what do you think? Any thoughts for us this evening?
I really am sad that I missed this AEW pay-per-view because I do love them more than anything that's on television right now.
Right on. Thank you so much for running the board for us tonight in Hensley's absence, who is actually directing a play in Charlotte now, which probably by the time you guys hear this, it'll be over. But yeah, it's They Fight, the best fights from literature. So be sure to check that out if you hear this in time.
Yeah, or if you just want to check out future things, check out Free Reign Theater Company.
There you go. All right. Well, as do you have an outro for us? You don't. All right. Well, then I'll do it then. Barnes, if people want to contact you, where can they do that?
I don't know why, but I'm on Twitter. The cesspool of the internet. I'm at Chris the OK. That's OKAY. It's
all right. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can get me at This Is a Work Podcast on Instagram, or is it Two Dogs? I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. Nobody.
Two Dogs in this economy?
Oh yeah, no, it's David Two Dogs Hayes on Instagram. I got a few followers, but not many. I'm also on TikTok, and I never post anything on there. And you can get me at This Is a Work on TikTok. That's about all I got. You got anything?
No, just if you want to hear more from us, just Google Long Walk Productions and Long Walk Podcast. I can't remember the addresses, and Dave has them, so that's it.
Okay. Well, guys, for Chris the Fashion Plate Barnes, Kara Hayes, and myself, this is David Two Dogs Hayes saying, guys, you got out of bed today, you had a job to go to, and somebody that cares about you when you get home, folks, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you very much for listening to This Is a Work.